So we have the story of Erika Jayne. You might know her husband, Tom Girardi, famed lawyer who is disgraced and is in the most complex bankruptcy ever to bankruptcy. Tom Girardi has defrauded his clients, all of which are major accident victims, out of tens, if not hundreds of millions of dollars. Somewhere between 100 million and 500 million of client funds stolen from the desperate, the needy, and the destroyed. Tom Girardi may not be a great person. Erika Jayne, meanwhile, has been hit with a $745,000 lawsuit from Nicolas Cage's ex-girlfriend over claims of receipt of stolen property and theft. So the Girardis themselves have some complications in their history and their social relationships. Basically, it doesn't pay to be a Girardi, or at least it doesn't anymore. All right, let's read some more. The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills star, known professionally as Erika Jayne, is being sued by Nicolas Cage's ex-girlfriend, Christina Fulton, for $745,000 over claims of stolen stuff. Fulton also claims that two lawyers who worked for Erika's estranged husband, Tom Girardi, in the now-defunct law firm are responsible for breach of fiduciary duty, breach of contract, and legal malpractice, among other complaints. Tom Girardi is the subject of many complaints, and his entire estate is going through probably the most complex bankruptcy to ever bankruptcy, trying to figure out all this stuff. It is a total, absolute nightmare of a case, and the only case that possibly rivals it that's going on right now in terms of complexity is Alex Murdaugh, also disgraced attorney, East Coast disgraced attorney of Charleston, who currently has 81 felony indictments against him, including most notably and recently murder of his wife and son, and future indictments for the murder of his housekeeper seem likely to come in the future. So the Girardi Murdaugh twin lawyers are the most complex cases probably going on in the United States right now. Tom, who was once seen as a prominent and successful plaintiff's lawyer, founded his now defunct firm. The firm's collapsed after claims surfaced he stole money from clients. He did. Apparently to the tune of somewhere between $100 million and $500 million of stolen funds from air crash victims and water poisoning victims, and so forth and so on. He was one of the attorneys involved in the Aaron Brockovich case. Give you an idea of his claim to fame. He was really good at getting the money, not so good in giving it to his clients. The lawsuit claims that she was one of the firm's clients who was unfortunately a victim of fraud and theft. A little bit get in line, unfortunately, because it's a long list. Fulton hired the firm to represent her in connection with claims based on severe injuries she sustained in an automobile accident. Their representation resulted in a confidential settlement. The complaint alleges that Erika's company, EJ Global, of which she is a single owner, was created for the purpose of funneling money from the law firm to benefit Erika. They were all stealing from the client funds together. Don't steal from the client funds. Additionally, the complaint alleges the Girardis were using the company to avoid paying taxes, and the reality star was aware of the scheme. And this seems like plausible contentions based on what we know about what was going on at the time, yes. Erika and Tom Girardi would deduct expenses on their personal tax returns. You're not supposed to do that. The law firm would keep the money paid to Erika as bogus receivables on its books and records. You're not supposed to do that. Erika clearly knew for tax years 2011 to 2013 that the entity was created as a tax avoidance entity. So the whole thing was made up to avoid taxes and steal money. For this reason, Erika, 51, has been defended in multiple million-dollar lawsuits. In January, she celebrated having been dismissed from her husband's $2 million fraud and embezzlement lawsuit, despite lawyers vowing to refile the case in California. She's going to be found out eventually, probably by the feds. But Erika's lawyer claims the current lawsuit filed by Fulton has two fundamental problems. First, Erika, a non-lawyer, had no role in the actions of the law firm in dealing with the clients of the firm or firm's management. Well, they're not supposed to, under the rules of ethics, for what it's worth. Under the rules of ethics, in a law firm, only lawyers can partner in a law firm. You can't partner with non-lawyers. There has been some call, incidentally, to amend these rules because there might be valid reasons for lawyers to partner with lawyers, but that's not allowed. So she's not supposed to be able to have anything to do with a law firm, but I think that's kind of the problem. Second, Erika reasonably believed the lifestyle and persona are not valid legal reasons to sue her, especially for things she didn't do. Her persona is not a valid reason to sue her, that's true. She may have done some things, though. The focus should be on the law firm, and we're supported by evidence of lawyers, accountants, and financiers who enable the firm's misconduct. Well, she might also be part of this sordid tale, because despite not being part of the law firm, the law firm might have been using to hide her money, hide her assets, and tax avoidance and all the rest, so she might very well be entangled with the whole law firm mess, for sure. Yeah. In court documents shared with people for a separate lawsuit filed against the execs on June the 28th, the judge supported Erika, saying, to say it's unlikely she was aware of any shenanigans going on would be an understatement. Okay. I'm not sure how it's an understatement, but fine. She needs to return some but not all the settlement that was stolen by Tom with the help of others at the firm, who we are investigating but may not be client defendants yet. Erika cannot keep benefits of stolen client money. Innocent doubt does not provide immunity for misappropriated funds. Yeah, that's true. Even if she didn't know, which seems unlikely, she's still in receipt of stolen property, and she can't keep the stolen property. And if she converted the money into assets like jewelry, then she needs to give the jewelry back. Richard claimed that Tom committed multiple crimes against his client, including stealing money from her and other clients, as well as using stolen money to pay personal lifestyle expenses of the estranged couple. This seems to be in keeping with what we know about Tom Girardi from the many, many lawsuits that have been filed. Emily D. Baker has been doing wonderful work on this, and yeah. Richard also argues Erika must have been aware of the husband's actions. Tom Girardi actually paid himself very little, as he funneled stolen client money to Erika's company and other vendors instead of paying taxes on income. His lifestyle expenses and double deductions are all things open and notorious to Erika. So she's not an innocent party. I guess she could be an innocent party, but it seems like maybe not so much. The recent lawsuit comes after another lawsuit filed by Ellison that claims that the law firm siphoned off settlement payments to family members of plane crash victims. Yeah, women who developed breast cancer after taking hormone replacement therapy, and others. Yeah, the law firm, or more specifically Tom Girardi, did so many bad things. Ellison sued the law firm in 2019 for misappropriating settlement funds and money owed for attorney's fees arising out of the firm's representation of plaintiffs in litigation over a 2018 Leon Air flight crash. There are many, many problems here. So that brings us to the end of discussion of Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, Erika Girardi, who seems like she might be tangled up in the Tom Girardi nightmare. It appears that she created a company that was used to funnel money to and from her for the purpose of hiding money. So that would be on the law firm's books as opposed to her books, which would help her evade tax and other things, and may have converted client funds into jewelry and other high expensive things in a lavish lifestyle. So yeah, Tom Girardi is a very, very bad person. Unfortunately, he's suffering from advanced medical problems, so it is unlikely that he'll ever see a courtroom in terms of any criminal penalties. But I wouldn't put it past the prosecutors in California or the U.S. attorney to look to any of the other attorneys and possibly Erika Girardi. So maybe she will be joining the Real Housewives Club of Prison. At this point, we have so many Real Housewives under potential criminal charges that we can just start a new series, The Real Housewives of the Federal Penitentiary. But that show will have to wait for another day, my friends. Until later, my friends, I hope all is well. Cheers and goodbye.